Welcome to biology and chemistry lessons. We are once again here with a new biology class, and our today's topic is human nervous system, or the nervous system of all the mammals. We can say all the mammals more or less have got the same type of the nervous system. So this topic of nervous system is also called as coordination. What is the meaning of coordination? How our different parts of the body are connected with each other and with the brain. And we all know that our brain is the organ which is sending different responses and receiving different stimuli. So let's see one by one what this chapter is about. This chapter, our nervous system is consisting of two parts: central nervous system, which consists of our brain and spinal cord, and peripheral nervous system, which consists of our nerves. Now see, this is our brain. This is a human brain or a mammalian brain, you can see, and our brain is divided into different sections, different parts, and each part has got different function. Like you can see, the front part, the one which is shown red in color, just to differentiate, different colors are given. So this red color part is the frontal lobe, which is there in front of, you can see, on the top of our forehead. Problem solving, emotional traits, reasoning, speaking, voluntary activities are all controlled by this front part. Then this middle part, which is marked yellow, is called parietal lobe, and its function is to knowing right, left, sensation, reading, body orientation, how our body is balanced, different parts of the body are working, in collaboration with each other. Then at the back, this small portion is called occipital lobe, and it is concerned with vision and color perception. And then this blue color part is the temporal lobe. Temporal lobe is the lobe which is there on the side of our temples, and understanding language, behavior, memory, hearing is concerned over here. At the back of the brain, this is small pouch-like structure. This purple color is called cerebellum, and this entire part, this entire portion, this part is called cerebrum. Cerebrum. C-R-E-B-R-U-M. Cerebrum. So cerebrum, and the back portion, the small pouch-like structure, is called cerebellum, and the function of the cerebellum is to control our muscles while we are walking, while we are driving or cycling, or when in the circus people walk on the rope. So this part of the brain, cerebellum, is actually controlling this thing, the muscular control. Then you can see the brain stem over here. This brain stem, this is called medulla oblongata. Brain stem is also called as medulla oblongata. This is also called as medulla oblongata, and it is controlling the internal movements of the different organs of the body, which we are not actually controlling. Our unconscious part of the brain or medulla is controlling, like when we are breathing, the lungs are contracting and relaxing. Body temperature, when that food is digested, peristalsis is taking place, swallowing is taking place. So all these activities are controlled by medulla oblongata. So these are the different parts of our brain. Now we can see this is our central nervous system, or we can also call it as CNS. What it is consisting of? Our brain. You can see the structure of the brain is just like a walnut. The walnut also appears exactly the same way. And this tail-like structure which is coming out is called our spinal cord. So our spinal cord is a very soft tail coming out of our brain, and it is ending where our hips start. And since it is very much thin, it is very much soft and delicate, so it has to be protected. Our brain is also protected. So our brain is protected by our bony cage, skull, or the biological word is cranium. Similarly, there are ring-like structures, something like this, one on the top of the other. These are the ring structure, vertebrae we call them. And all of them together make our vertebral column or backbone. And through these ring-like structures, our spinal cord is passing through. And these are actually the separate rings you can see over here. Why? So that our back can be flexible. We can bow, we can move our back here and there, we can turn left and right. That's why these are the tiny vertebrae through which our spinal cord passes. Now you can see this is another picture of the central nervous system, brain and spinal cord you can see. And the peripheral nervous system, you can see that from our spinal cord, the thin thread-like structures are coming out. These thread-like structures. All these thread-like structures are actually the nerves. So nerves are making peripheral nervous system, brain and spinal cord are making central nervous system. So both of them, both the parts of the nervous system are shown in this diagram. So what our nerves are actually the bundles of nerve fibers, just like you can take the example of an electrical cable, electrical wire. It is surrounded by a rubber insulator covering, but inside there are golden color copper wires. Our nerves are exactly the same thing. Inside the nerves, there are thin, tiny thread-like nerve fibers. So our nerves are actually the bundles of the nerve fibers, and there are two types of the nerves, the sensory nerves and the motor nerves. So we can go back and we can see that, like suppose for example, each thread-like structure which is coming out like this one. This thread-like structure is coming out. So if we enlarge it, it is actually two, a pair. One is a sensory nerve and another one is the motor nerve. So now we will see the nerves are actually existing in pairs, and they are sensory and motor nerves, and we will see what are sensory and motor nerves actually. So the sensory nerves are the nerves which take the impulse. What is the meaning of impulse? Any change which is taking place in your surrounding. Temperature is changing, you are touching a hot object, you have stepped up on a broken piece of glass. All right, so these are all the, a bright light is falling in your eyes, you will blink. A very loud noise is going to your ear. So these are all the changes which are taking place in the surrounding. They are called stimuli. They are called stimuli, and these stimuli will go to our brain via sensory nerves, and then we call these information which are going to the brain via sensory nerve. This information is called an impulse. The sound is not going, the light is not going, the heat is not going. Rather, impulse is going, which is nothing but free mobile sodium and potassium ions. Free mobile sodium and potassium ions are going when, for example, a bright light is going to your eye, you start blinking. Your pupil becomes smaller. Why? Because this bright light, as soon as it is received by your eye, which is a sense organ, it will be converted into free mobile sodium and potassium ions, which is called impulse. This information now will travel through these sensory nerves to your brain, to your central nervous system, your spinal cord, and your brain. Your brain will process the data, your brain will understand, and then your brain will send the response in the form of the free mobile ions through the motor nerves to your effectors. What are effectors? Your muscles and the glands. How you are blinking your eyes? Because the muscles of your eyelids are contracting and relaxing. That's why you are blinking. So a bright light which is falling in your eyes, the bright light is the stimulus. The impulse of the stimulus in the form of the free mobile sodium and potassium ions will move over the sensory nerves to our central nervous system, that is the spinal cord and brain. Our central nervous system will process the data and will send the response in the form of the free mobile ions over motor nerves. So you can say sensory nerves and the motor nerves are the two highways on which the traffic is going and coming. So this response in the form of the free mobile ions is coming from your brain to your effector muscles. Now this time your muscles are your eyelid muscles. So they are contracting and relaxing, and you will close your eyes. You will start blinking. Or your glands. Your glands in response will start producing the hormones. Now see, sensory neuron and the motor neuron. So you can say that this is our skin. You have touched a very hot object. Okay. So over here, heat is the stimulus. So it is taken up by the skin receptor cells, and then the free mobile sodium and potassium ions through these free receptor cells will start moving all over the sensory neurons and will go to your spinal cord. From spinal cord, the data will go to your brain. The brain is going to process the data, and the response will come via motor neuron to your muscles. For example, you have touched a hot object, your muscle is the effector now. So you will contract the muscles and you will pull your hand back. You will withdraw your hand. So this is how the sensory and the motor neurons are functioning. So in our whole body, inside our whole body, there is a network of sensory and motor neurons. So there is a network of so many things like sensory neurons, motor neurons, arteries, veins, lymphatic system, the tiny branches of the lymph. So inside the whole body, this is the network actually. Now see, what are the sense organs? The sense organs are the organs which receive the stimuli, and they are, whatever the changes are taking place in the surrounding are called stimuli. Singular is a stimulus, plural is a stimuli. So the different sense organs are eyes, ear, nose, tongue. With eyes, you can receive the light. With nose, you can receive the chemicals, smell. With the help of your ear, you can receive the sound energy. Tongue, you receive you have got taste buds. Under the taste buds, there are receptor cells which receive the taste, the chemical. Skin is the largest sense organ which is receiving the temperature, the hot and the cold and the pressure and the pricking sensation. Everything is felt by your skin. So your skin is the largest sense organ. Now see, this is the structure of the sensory neuron. What are sensory neurons? What are actually neurons? Whether they are sensory or they are motor, they are specialized cells. They are performing a specific function. So the sensory neurons are actually performing the function of receiving the stimulus and to send the sodium and potassium free mobile ions to the central nervous system. So you can see it is an unusual type of the cell. This is the shape of the cell we have not seen in any part of the body. So this is the main cell body. You can see cell membrane, cytoplasm, nucleus, mitochondria, Golgi bodies, all the organelles are there. But you can see through the main cell, a thread-like structure is coming out. So this thread-like structure is called axon. And over here at the two ends, there are terminal branches, which are making connection with the next neuron. And you can see all around the axon, there is a fatty structure, a fatty sheet, which is called myelin sheath. So what is the function of myelin sheath? Myelin sheath, for example, this is you have touched a hot object. So the stimulus is heat. So now the stimulus heat, the impulse of the heat will pass through the axon to your central nervous system. So this myelin sheath is making sure that the impulse will move in the correct direction. It will not disperse here and there. Not only that, it is acting as an insulator and providing optimum temperature for the enzyme activity. Our neurons have got lots of mitochondria because the movement of the impulse needs energy. This is the motor neuron through which the response is coming. So you can see the motor neuron has got a star-shaped cell body. This is the star-shaped cell body. And you can see the star-shaped cell bodies, the branches are coming out, which are called dendrites. And this is the axon. And the myelin sheath is there, and it is connected to our muscles. So when the response will come, our muscles will contract and relax, and we will move the different parts of our body. So this is how the structure of sensory and motor neurons are. Now we will just read quickly this is the thing you can see that how the neurons you will find them inside our body. This is a scan. You can see just like the hairs throughout our body, this hairy structure is actually the neurons, the motor neurons and the sensory neurons. And you can see these dark, rounded, bigger structures. These are actually the cell bodies, and these are actually the axons. The branches which are coming out are actually the axons. So how intricate, how complicated the structures are inside our body, you can imagine. Now we will see the adaptations of the neurons. What is the meaning of adaptation? How something is suited well to its function, what spatial features it has. So the spatial features of something is called adaptation, to which it is best suited to its function. So what are the adaptation of sensory and motor neurons? They have long thread-like axons, which are acting as a track on which the impulse free mobile sodium and potassium ions travel. The axons are surrounded by the fatty substance called myelin sheath, which ensure the movement of the in the correct direction and also acting as an insulator to provide optimum temperature for the enzyme activity. Dendrites, the fine branches at the two ends of the axons, are making connection with the next neurons. So the neurons are always connected with each other. That's why the system works so spontaneously, without any hampering, without any delay. You touch a hot object and instantly you move your hand back. So you can imagine how quickly the impulse goes to your brain and the response is coming from brain back to your muscles. So why? Because all the neurons are connected with each other with the help of the branches called dendrites. And they have got lots of mitochondria to provide energy for the movement of the impulse. So this is the part one of the nervous system. In the next class, we will see what is neurotransmitter, how the impulse is moving from one axon to another axon, and what is the reflex arc, the structure of eye. So all these are coming in the coming topics in the coming classes. So that's all for today. I hope you all have understood and enjoyed the class. Bye bye.